Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Om Ganana Antva Ganapati Gammavamahe Kavin Kavinam Upavashravastramam Jeshtarajam Brahmanan Brahmanaspata Anushvannoti Visneda Sadhanam. Om Mahaganadipataye Namaha. Om Shambhave Namaha Vishweshwaraya Mahadevaya Trayambakaya त्रिपुरान्तकाय त्रिकाग्निकालाय कालाग्निरुद्राय नीलकण्ठाय मृत्युञ्जयाय सर्वेश्वराय सदाशिवाय श्रीमन्महादेवाय नमः. हरि Om. Dear friends and devotees, we are discussing with Lord Shiva Maha Purana. We are going to discuss about Shiva Parvati Kalyana today. After confirming Parvataraja that he is going to give his daughter to Shiva and Shiva Parvati getting married in Himalayas, Parvataraja's palace, Parvataraja sends Lagnaputrika. Himalaya then requested sage Garga Maharishi to prepare a beautiful Lagnaputrikas for Shiva Parvati Kalyana, which were then sent to his near and dear ones. He then requested Vishwakarma to construct a beautiful mantapa for the marriage, which was constructed by Vishwakarma in a very short time. Lord Shiva invites all Devaras, and Lord Shiva invited all of his Ganas to the marriage ceremony. He also instructed sage Narada to intimate all the Devas to attend his wedding. Sages, all the Saptarishis, sages, and the celestial entities are also invited. After getting the invitation from Shiva, everybody started making preparations to be part of Shiva's and Parvati's wedding, Shiva's marriage procession. The seven mothers, Brahmi, Maheshwari, Kaumari, Vaishnavi, Varahi, Airandri, and Chamunda, dressed him up beautifully. Shiva then performed all the necessary karmas to pacify the planet. At last, this wonderful marriage procession of Shiva proceeded towards the Parvataraja's palace. Lord Shiva marriage's procession started from Kailas. Lord Shiva invited all the Ganas on the marriage ceremony. He also instructed sage Narada to intimate all the Devas and sages and celestial entities. After getting the invitation from Lord Shiva, everybody started making preparation to be a part of Shiva's marriage procession. The seven mothers, Brahmi, Maheshwari, Kaumari, Vaishnavi, Varahi, Aindri, and Chamunda, dressed him up beautifully. Shiva then performed all the necessary karmas to pacify the planet. At last, this wonderful marriage procession of Lord Shiva proceeded towards the Parvataraja's palace. Shiva preceded with his marriage procession, which consisted of crores of his Ganas and Devas like Vishnu, who were boarded on their vehicles. Even Narada and Lord Brahma were also present in Shiva's marriage procession. First of all, Shiva sent Narada to Himalaya's house, Parvataraja's palace, to inform him about their marriage procession is arriving. Himalaya Parvataraja sent his son Mainaka to receive them. Lord Shiva, divine place. When, when Maina, the Parvataraja's wife, Parvati's mother, when Maina saw that the marriage procession was coming, she curiously told Narada about her desire to see her son in law. Shiva understood the arrogance which her desire contained. He wanted to teach her a lesson. He sent all the deities one by one. Maina mistook each one of them to be Lord Shiva, but was later informed by Narada that in fact they were not Shiva but the attendants of Shiva. Maina was very delighted and wondered how handsome the master Shiva must be if the attendant were so handsome. Right then Shiva arrived with his ganas. His body Shiva divine place. Maina was delighted. Maina's while the maid servants arrived instantaneously and helped Maina to regain her consciousness. She fainted looking at Shiva. She started crying and cursing everybody she thought was responsible for her daughter's marriage with Shiva. Nobody was spared. Narada, the Saptarishis, and even her own sons. She even adma- admonished Parvati by saying, "Did you do severe penance to get such a horrible husband like this?" Lord Brahma and Narada tried to console and convince her, but it was of no avail. When Parvataraja tried to intervene, he was soundly rebuked. Maina threatened him that if this marriage took place, then it would be the last day of her life. At last, Lord Vishnu arrived and tried to pacify her anger by saying that her anger was baseless, as she had not seen the real appearance of Shiva, which bestows benediction. Lord Vishnu and Narada, when eulogized Shiva, who on being pleased showed his most enchanting beauty. Maina now became fully satisfied. Himalaya Parvataraja too felt proud of her daughter's good fortune. At last Shiva entered the Mantapa canopy where marriage ceremony was going to take place to be organized. He saw Parvati sitting there. Both of them were very delighted to see each other. Parvataraja bestows Parvati to Shiva. After the marriage ceremony was over, sage Garga helped Himalaya in performing the rite of Kanyadana. Amidst the chantings of Vedic mantras, the women were singing auspicious songs. Parvataraja presented large quantities of dowry to Lord Shiva. Parvati's Parvati's companions were engaged with Shiva in jocular and luxurious humorous conversations. Shiva brings back Kamadeva alive. Rati, the wife of Kamadeva, seeing the moment opportunist arrived, and she requested Shiva to bring back her dear husband back to the life. Her wailings made the other goddess very sympathetic towards her. They too requested Lord Shiva to make their husband back to the life. Feeling pity on her condition, Shiva brought back Kamadeva back to the life from the ashes which Rati had given to him. On seeing her husband alive, Rati's heart was filled up with extreme joy. Both of them eulogized Lord Shiva and expressed their gratitude. After the marriage ceremony was over, the marriage procession sought the permission of Himalaya to make a move, but he requested them to remain there for some more days. Shiva's departure. Shiva remained at his in-laws' house for many days. One day he thought the permission of Parvataraja to go back. Everybody became sad at the prospect of Shiva's departure, especially Maina, who was very saddened by this news. At last, it was time for Shiva to depart from Himalaya mountain, accompanied by Parvati. Lord Shiva and Parvati were blissfully enjoying their marital status, unaware of the eagerness with which the Devas were awaiting the arrival of their progeny. Tarakasura, the demon, condemned the uh, tormenting the Devas. When their miseries became unbearable, they went to Lord Brahma to seek their help. All of them they went to Lord Vishnu. They told him that even after passing of such a long duration of time, Parvati and Shiva had not yet become parents. They requested Lord Vishnu to remind Shiva about the purpose of behind his marriage. Initially, Lord Vishnu showed his disinclination to disturb Shiva's marital bliss. But when the Devas insisted, he went to Shiva, accompanied by all of them. All of them enraged all of them requested Shiva and Parvati. The Devas then requested Shiva to make his contribution in the destruction of Tarakasura. Shiva understood everything. Some drops of his semen fell down on the ground. On being insisted by the Devas, Agni transformed his appeared in the form of pigeon and picked up those drops of semen. Right then, Parvati arrived there and became extremely furious on seeing the semen going waste. She cursed the Devas at that their respective wives would remain issueless as the consequences of their mindless acts. Agni was having inflammation in his stomach because of the Shiva's semen. Lord Shiva advised him to transfer it into the womb of any noble woman. Agni followed the instruction and injected the semen into the body of a sick woman through the pores of hair on their body. Those women could not bear the extreme luster of the Shiva's semen. They went to Himachala and evacuated it. Even Himachala could not bear its extreme effluence and immersed it into the flowing Ganga river. Ganga carried it with her current and established it all amidst bushes of reed Sarkanda. Instantaneously, a beautiful child manifested from it. His birth made all the Devas extremely joyous, including Shiva and Parvati. It was the sixth day, bright half of the lunar month of the Hindu month of Margashira. He was Kartikeya. So Kartikeya was born. Sage Vishwamitra arrived at the spot where the child had manifested. On the repeated insistence of the child. Vishwamitra performed his purification rites and named him Guha. The divine child blessed Vishwamitra and bestowed divine knowledge to him. He also blessed him to become famous as Brahma Rishi. Agnideva arrived there and gave a divine weapon named Shakti to that child. Guha went to the Kroncha mountain and banged his weapon on it. The mountain could not bear the effect of the blow and started crumbling down. Innumerable demons living on that mountain came to kill him, but the child killed all of them by his weapon. When Indra heard about his bravery, he became, along with other devas, to fight him. Indra assaulted Guha with his vajra on the right side of his body, which resulted into the manifestation of very powerful entity named Shakti. Indra again assaulted him on the left side of his body, from which manifested an extremely powerful entity named Vishaka, Indra assaulted Guha for the third time. This time his chest was target. From this third blow, Indra manifested Naigama, Guha, accompanied by all the three powerful entities Shaka, Vishaka, and Naigama, attacked Indra and his army, but they fled away. Six goddesses arrived on the scene. All of them tried to feed that small child out of affection. They started quarreling among themselves. Right then, they were surprised to see the child appearing with six heads. Now their problems were solved. Each of the goddess fed their breast milk to the child. They took Guha with them and brought them up with great love and care. Guha later on became famous as Kartikeya. Search for Kartikeya. One day, the Parvati curiously asked Shiva about his semen which had fallen in the ground. Lord Shiva summoned the Devas and asked them about it. The Devas narrated the whole story. Both Shiva and Parvati were very pleased to know about Kartikeya. Lord Shiva then ordered his Ganas to bring Kartikeya from the possession of Kritika. The Ganas reached Badrikashrama where Kritika lived. When Kritika saw the Ganas, she became very frightened, but Kartikeya gave him solace. The Ganas requested Kartikeya to come along with them to the Kailasa. Kartikeya happily took permission from his mothers and proceeded to meet Shiva and Parvati. Kartikeya coronation. At the time of Kartikeya's departure, the mothers had become very emotional. Kartikeya consoled them. He then he then boarded the beautiful chariot which had been sent by Parvati and proceeded towards Kailasa mountain. All the deities, including Shiva, were eagerly awaiting his arrival. When Kartikeya reached Kailasa mountain, he was given a royal reception. The whole atmosphere was filled up with joy. Everybody was celebrating. Each of the devas presented him their respective weapons to him. Lord Shiva coronated him as the king with the help of the Brahmin. This way, he had now become the Lord of Kailasapuri. Lord of Kailasapuri. Kartikeya's amazing character. Kartikeya narrated a story connected with himself. One day, a Brahmin whose name was Narada came to me and requested me to help him find his he goat, which had got lost. He told me that the goat was supposed to be offered as the sacrifice. If the goat was not found, my woe would remain unfulfilled, said Narada. I went on search of the goat. I found it in the Vishnuloka, where it was creating a nuisance. When the goat saw me, it tried to attack me with its sharp horns. I climbed on its back. After traveling through all the three worlds, the goat returned back to his original place. I climbed down from its back. Narada arrived and demanded his goat. I told him that his yajna had been accompanied by my blessings and there was no need to sacrifice the poor goat. Narada, the Brahmin, went back satisfied. The battle. The Devas were very encouraged by the presence of Kartikeya under themselves. They were beaming with confidence and enthusiasm. The Devas assembled at the seashore. Tarakasura arrived there with his huge army. The battle began. The battle began between Tarakasura and Deva. Tarakasura appeared to be invincible. His blow was so severe that Indra fell down unconscious. All the Lokpalas met the same fate. After that, Tarakasura fought with Virabhadra and made him unconscious. After that, Tarakasura fought with Virabhadra and made him unconscious. Even Lord Vishnu could not sustain for long and was ultimately defeated. Lord Brahma requested Kartikeya to fight with Tarakasura as nobody except him would be able to kill him. So, killing of Tarakasura is the next step in the chapter. On being instructed by Lord Brahma, Kartikeya came forward to fight with Tarakasura. Tarakasura ridiculed the Devas for taking the shield of a small child. If he gets killed by me, the responsibility should lie on you, thundered Tarakasura. On being instructed by Lord Brahma, Kartikeya came forward to fight with Tarakasura. Tarakasura ridiculed the deities, Devas, for taking the shield of a small child. If he gets killed by me, the responsibility should lie on you, thundered Tarakasura. A forced battle started between both of them, in which both of them got injured. At last, an opportunity moment, Kartikeya hit Tarakasura on his chest with his weapon, Shakti. The blow proved to be fatal, and as a result, Tarakasura fell down and died. Kartikeya felt was hailed by all the Devas. After killing Tarakasura, Kartikeya went to Mother Parvati, who affectionately took him into her lap. He was eulogized by all the Devas. Killings of Pralamba and Banasura. The next episode is Killing of Pralamba and Banasura. The mountain Craunch, who was tormented by the activities of the demon named Banasura, went to Kartikeya and narrated his woeful tales. Kartikeya threw his weapon Shakti in the direction which Banasura lived. The weapon banged right on the target and reacted. Kartikeya threw his weapon Shakti in the direction of which Banasura lived. The weapon banged right onto the target and returned back to him. Banasura was burned to ashes. Craunch went back being very pleased. The mountain Craunch established 3 Shivlingas to please Lord Shiva. The names of these 3 Shivlingas were Kumareshwara, Pratyageshwara and Kapileshwara. Once upon a time, the Devas were trying to reach the abode of Lord Shiva, Kailasa mountain. Their preceptor, Brihaspati, was walking ahead of all them. Meanwhile, the demon by name of Pralamba started creating turbulence. After being tormented by his activities, Kumuda, son of Sheshanaga, Kumud, son of Sheshanaga, took Kartikeya's refuge. Kartikeya killed the demon with his divine weapon, Shakti. शंभुवे नमः विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय त्रयंबकाय त्रिपुरांतकाय त्रिकाग्निकालाय कालाग्निरुद्राय नीलकंठाय मृत्युंजयाय सर्वेश्वराय सदाशिवाय श्रीमन्महादेवाय नमः शंभुवे नमः विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय त्रयंबकाय त्रिपुरांतकाय त्रिकाग्निकालाय कालाग्निरुद्राय नीलकंठाय मृत्युंजयाय सर्वेश्वराय सदाशिवाय श्रीमन्महादेवाय नमः त्र्यंबकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनात् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् हरि ओम